everyone sitting comfortably? And I'll begin. Eyes down for the first number. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. We hope you will find it easier to choose among the candidates after hearing their presentations today. Great power exists to represent the views of New Zealanders 50 and over, to members of Parliament to try to get the changes we want. For example, the board are currently urging government not to interfere in the business of local councils and are asking us to encourage our councils to create age-friendly towns. I'm sorry, I've got one of those voices.
Jan's had a throat operation, still got the scar. But you can't sit in my place, Jan. No. Thank you too to all the candidates for sparing their time to come here. They know they're in for a long session and a lot of sitting. But we're hoping that it'll give you a chance to put the faces and the policy ideas against the names when you come to vote. We regret the 3-minute time limit, but we hope it'll be long enough to spark an interest in what you have to offer. We hope too that you may be able to stay to afternoon tea, because that's when our audience will be able to chat to you and ask their own questions. Otherwise there'll be no questions from the audience. 2 candidates have given their apologies. They've written some answers for us, so we've printed them off, and they're outside on the table if you want to look for them with the other pamphlets. Now we'll begin. To be fair to those who are present, what we've done is draw the names out of a hat, so the order's not alphabetical. And we will start with Leah Carly.
Good afternoon, talofa everyone. As everyone knows, my name is Leah Carly. So I'll just give a brief history, family history and background. My parents came here in 1955, so we've been here for quite some time, one of the first Samoan migrants. My dad was here 52 from Samoa and then moved 55 and brought my mum and my older siblings here. So I'm one of the 3 youngest who was born and raised in Tokoroa. I speak Samoan, so that's an advantage, being on council. And I have a long history with many families here that we grew up together, schooled here, Matarawa School, Tokoroa Intermediate and Tokoroa High School. My parents actually were the founding members of the Pacific Island Presbyterian Church down in Maraetai Road in Kelso. So my dad worked for New Zealand Railways and he was a late preacher. I just want to talk about 3 things, because of the limited time. 3 things I want to talk about is engagement, connectiveness, relationships. And I think it's really important. I was a public servant for Auckland City Council back in 2010. I was the first Pacific senior advisor there, and I managed a couple of contracts there. And one of the things, because of my networks and family in South Auckland and inner city of Auckland City Council, sorry, not South Auckland because Auckland City Council was inner city, I had a strong connection with my community. And one of the things that council were very interested in when we consult on annual reports and other significant documents is how do we engage with those particular communities. And because I had those strong connections, we were able to access those communities. So for me, in those experiences, is really important in Tokoroa, when we are engaging with communities, that there is a diverse community of Tokoroa people here, age, culture, and many other diversity, that we have access to those particular communities. So we need to be inclusive. The language The language we use also needs to be inclusive. So those experiences that I bring, and I returned back here 2 years ago, and it was a calling by a family member, and she's here with me, Leah Carly, who's been a long time kindergarten teacher in Tokoroa. I came back to look after my brother Ike, who had dementia Parkinson's. So the times I've come back is to look after a family member. So I know very well what it's like being a caregiver. And I looked after my parents up to the time they passed on, and a sister and a brother. Connectiveness is also important. And so connectiveness and relationships, holding those relationships are really important with particular groups in Tokoroa. So I think for me, to be elected on council, I bring those qualities. So I'll just end here because I think 3 minutes is over.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Leah,
Vote
thank you.
Leah Carly.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Arama Ngapo Lipscomb.
Kia ora and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Arama Ngapo Lipscomb. So for those of you who don't know me, my mother and father are Lloyd and Gaynor Ngapo. My parents were raised in Manukino. My father passed away in 2011. He was a local minister here at the Anglican Church. And my mother lives with myself and my husband. I went to Tokoroa. All my schooling was done here in Tokoroa. And after I finished Tokoroa High School, I saw Mr. Somerville out there, and he looked at me and said, he's probably thinking you're late, you still haven't changed. And so after I finished my schooling at Tokoroa High School, I went to Waikato University. I have been a practicing lawyer here in Tokoroa for the last 17 years. I have my own business with my husband Scott, who's that handsome fellow standing at the back of the room. Everyone looked. We have 3 beautiful children. Tamatia's 12, Jeremiah's 5, and our youngest baby Lloyd is just turned 3. So I wanted to thank Ray Power for inviting myself here and all of the fellow candidates, whether they're standing for mayor or as council, for inviting us here to hear a little bit more about us. You were also really helpful because you pre-prepared questions, which is great because it means that you'll just control us. Some of us have a tendency to go on a bit. So one of the first questions you asked was about personal qualities. Well, for me, my entire being was about promoting the South Waikato district, about breaking down barriers, about making sure that everybody knew that living in Tokoroa in the South Waikato district was an amazing place to live. Not just because we were good at sports, not just because we had some really good academics, but because our town was supportive, loving and caring, and because we care about one another. Where do I see South Waikato development? Well, I want to see sustainable growth. I want my children to grow up in the Tokoroa, in the South Waikato district that I grew up in. It was a fantastic place to grow up. We were nearly a city. You know, my father, before he became a minister, was a fireman out at Kinleith. So I actually was raised out at Kinleith when they had houses. And that's my 3 minutes. So anyway, look, thank you very much. I apologise for being late. And I'm going to hang around afterwards because I'd love to take the time to spend with you. I see a lot of my friends' parents here. You are what make this town wonderful. And I would like to have the opportunity as the next generation here to continue that legacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arama. Our next speaker is Maren Lucina.